Now, when you say that you saw Mr. Karr tear her hat off, can you elaborate?
Sure, if I can check my report again.
Just do it. Just do it, John. And I'm looking at
You know what paragraph that was in?
page 3 of your narrative. It looks like it's going to be in the 3rd paragraph of the narrative section. Yeah. About midway down.
Okay. Yes, I did see him reach into the vehicle and tear her hat off.
Okay. Now, when you say reach in, did he do so gingerly or did he lunge?
Well, I don't have it written in here. I believe he lunged.
Okay, but you didn't write that in your report?
No.
Okay. Could that signify some sort of imminence?
I suppose it could.
Okay. When he, in your words, tore the hat off, which direction did the hat go in?
Went towards the passenger side of the car, so it would be south.
Okay. So, can you demonstrate for the camera, to put you on the spot, what you basically observed, the motion that you observed him make?
Well, I'm not an actor, but I'll give it a shot.
Not an actor, not an artist, right?
Exactly. I'm a police officer. Okay.
Do you recall which hand, if you can recall, indicate which hand he did what with?
I believe with his right hand, he reached in as he was facing. He reached in, tore it, and threw it like that.
So with the, and did you catch that, Bill?
Most of it.
So, can you just do it again, just slowly, so we can catch?
Because as he was facing her, he took her hat off her head and threw it like that.
Okay. I think the record's clear as to what you just did. All right. Anything in his hands at this point?
Aside from the hat, not that I remember.
Okay. Do you know what precipitated that?
Do I know what precipitated that?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Were there any obstructions to your line of sight at that point from 100 feet away?
The only thing between myself and Miss Karr was the windshield of Miss Karr's vehicle.
And there was also
above the dashboard. Below the dashboard, there would, of course, be the body of the car.
Okay. Would you agree there would also be the frame of the car that would obstruct your line of sight?
Yes, I was taking that into account as far as the body of the car and the windshield.
Okay. In fact, did that obstruct your view in any way?
Only from about Mrs. Karr's mid-chest down. I could see Mrs. Karr from about the mid-chest up,
Okay.
clearly.
Where would the frame of the car bisect her body vertically, if that makes sense?
Which frame of the car are you talking about? Are you talking frame as far as the undercarriage, or are you talking about...
Windshield.
As far as the windshield, there's no obstruction between Mrs. Karr as far as the support between the door and the windshield of the car.
And at some point, if you would, the frame of the car would have been in between your line of sight and Mr. Karr as he reached into the car, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that would be an impediment to your view as well, correct?
It would only be an impediment to about 2 inches of, him. I'd be able to see what was on each side of that frame. I could see him reaching in and grabbing her hat.
Okay, but there was a partial obstruction.
Yes.
Okay. At that point, did you hear Mrs. Karr begin yelling?
Yes.
Okay. Were you running at that point?
I don't remember if I began running when I heard her yelling at him or if I had already started running. Okay. Cornelius, I had begun running, and I was already running when I heard her begin yelling at him.
Okay.
Or yelling back at him.
What was she yelling?
I don't remember. Actually, I couldn't hear.
What, if anything, did you tell Lieutenant Parkin at that point?
I believe I just told Lieutenant Parker when I began running domestic violence, just so she'd know where I was going.
Did you ever direct her attention to a white truck?
I don't remember. When I began running, no.
At any point, did you direct her attention to the white truck prior to, during, or after you began running?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Not to your recollection?
Not to my recollection.
Okay. Were you a brisk walk, a solid jog, or a dead run?
Dead run.
And what did you observe, and at what distances, if you can recall?
About 50 feet away. Let's see. Of course, I have to refer back to my report again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As I was running the vehicle, from approximately 50 feet away, of course I'm not, I can't say exactly how far it was. I saw David shove, or Mr. Karr shove Mrs. Karr with his right hand, and then force his way into the vehicle.
Okay. When he allegedly shoved her, was it an open hand or a fist?
I couldn't tell.
Okay.
If I could tell whether it was a open hand or a fist, more than likely my report would say that he struck her with a closed fist as opposed to shoving her with his right hand.
Okay, so you actually were about 50 feet out when you made this observation.
Mm-hmm.
That was with his right hand?
Yes.
The same hand he tore the hat with?
Yes.
Okay. And was the hat thrown immediately after it was torn?
Immediately as in what time frame? Are you talking about 1 second, half a second, 5 seconds?
One on top of the other.
Okay. To me, it looked like it was grabbed and thrown. It was grabbed, and in the same motion, he threw the hat.
Okay. And let me back up just a second. When you were in your lookout position, if you would, did you make any visual observation of Ginny Karr's face or demeanor through the window?
Not that I could really remember. They appeared to be, talking peacefully at first.
Were you able to see if she was crying?
No.
So you'd agree that it probably wasn't a perfect line of sight then into the car.
Well, no, it was pretty much a perfect line of sight, but from 100 feet away, I don't think there's many people who can see a teardrop.
Okay, but could you tell if she was moving around in the car?
As far as moving around, how? Moving like this, or
moving
jumping
at
from
all?
one side to the other?
If she was making any bodily movements in conjunction with her conversation with David?
No, I couldn't tell.
So you don't know if she was upset at that point that you observed? Okay, you couldn't physically see it?
No.
Okay. Now, at 50 feet away, when you alleged that you saw David shove Ginny with his right hand, what happened to her when he shoved her?
The first time or the second time he shoved her with his right hand?
Well, let's start with the first, because we haven't gotten to the second yet.
Okay. When he shoved her, to me, it appeared as though he started to move his body into the car when he shoved her with his right hand.
Okay. Where was his left hand?
I don't remember exactly where his left hand was.
At any point did he appear to grab for the ignition?
Yes, at one point he did grab for the ignition.
Do you believe that he grabbed for the ignition, or you saw him grab at the ignition?
It appeared that he was grabbing for the ignition.
Now, the ignition's below the dashboard.
Okay, let me read my report here real quick and I'll see if I can find the exact...
Third full paragraph, just about at the end.
Okay.